We're going to talk Super 6 now. How did you get on in your selections this week, Boovie?
I didn't do very well. I thought Arsenal would smash Man United, and Man United did make it a closer game.
But what I must say is, though, we were 2 goals away this weekend, 2 Arsenal goals away from
someone winning £250,000.
And it shows you how close people are getting. And if you're not involved with Super 6 yet, there's still a few more rounds before the end of the season. Get involved.
Yeah. In terms of the Premier League, we are losing 3 teams, and we know exactly who they are now, barring a miracle. The 3 teams that came up. The first time in decades that has happened.
Yeah, it's a real shame. It obviously alludes to some sort of disparity between the Championship clubs all fighting to get out of that division into the Premier League, where they're competing with huge sides.
Wait a minute.
You know, Everton, Nottingham Forest.
The last time this happened was 97-98.
It's crazy, 30
what
years.
happened the following season?
The treble.
Oh, for God's sake.
That would mean...
Stop shoehorning Man United.
We're treble next season, guys.
Yeah.
We're talking about some real football clubs.
And also, in 97-98, Arsenal won the league. There we go. We've gone very superstitious.
We're winning it.
Won the double.
We've gone very superstitious on this.
Do
you think it's a worry, though, the chasm? Do you think the chasm between the Championship and the Premier League is problematic?
Yeah, definitely. Of course it is, because Luton is an interesting one. They competed. I think they outcompeted based on the money they've spent, and they're a bit of a wild card, yeah? I think the depressing thing is Sheffield United are a big club. They had to sell their best player when they got promoted. Burnley didn't invest, in my opinion. They spent a lot of money. They didn't invest it in the right way, and they were one of the best sides the Championship's ever seen in terms of the amount of points they got when they got out of the division. So it's a sad day that the best club out of the Championship can't even lay a glove on Premier League
Do you think
clubs.
it changes now, though? Like, do you think this is a one-off? As we say, we have seen this before, the 3 up, 3 down. We've seen it before in 98. Do you think that the 3 that come up this year are going to go back down and the chasm is therefore there for all to see? Or do Leeds potentially come up in the playoff final and secure their place in the Premier League? Do Ipswich somehow stay up again?
The weight of the 3 clubs that will come up, I think Leeds will get promoted, but that's a prediction. Leeds... They've come up recently and stayed up for a season. Leicester City have got 5 or 6 Premier League proven quality players already in that squad.
And the Ipswich have a wicked manager, and they've done it 2 years in a row.
And they are a big club, and that sometimes matters.
I'll be honest as well. If you see Leicester come up and either Leeds or Southampton, for example, I don't see them going straight back down, you know.
They've definitely got the prestige of the Premier League.
They seem to have something about them where we'll get our recruitment right. And whereas Ipswich, on the other hand... It's a weird position for them because they've probably come up a little bit early.
They got the best
I consider they're in the same
manager.
position as Company. You know, where they've got a highly rated young manager coming up.
Yeah.
And now you get into the Premier League.
A limited budget.
Are you going to stick? Are you going to twitch?
They didn't spend much
a lot
money.
of these players were there for League One.
Mate, they were there for League One, but the manager has put the stardust on them.
But
They've used the loan system brilliantly. Amari Hutchinson at Chelsea and that. Like Ipswich, I think if they can hold their manager, that's the problem they've got. You know, if a big managerial job becomes available, Kieran McKenna's going to be certainly in line for
Everton job.
Man United job.
Spurs?
Man United job.
Man United job. No, you know what I mean? Like,
I'd rather him than Southgate.
Say De Zerbi. Obviously Ipswich are a much bigger club than Brighton, but say De Zerbi got a big move. I don't know. Got the big job somewhere. McKenna would be on Brighton's hit list.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
Brighton,
they hired from the Championship
100%.
previously with Swansea, didn't they, with Graham Potter?
100%.
So I think that the 3 clubs that are coming up certainly do have a chance of survival. There is a chance that they could do it.
Who could get relegated? I think Brentford are an example that are floating about a little bit.
Can I tell you someone who's going to go down?
Stagnated.
Can I give you a real shocker, spoiler in fact, for who's going down next season? Brighton and Hove Albion.
See, I went with Wolves this year and I looked stupid.
I saw that, yeah.
No, your Wolves shout, though, wasn't mad at the
you
time.
saw
When
that. You posted it. What's wrong with you, bro?
It was the Man United
You're
thing, I
supposed
think.
to build me up, make me look good online.
I got you a few likes.
Well, it's a bit snide, isn't it?
What do you mean? I got you a few likes on the Stretford paddock.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, that. But
What?
Thanks, mate. You never got us likes because you posted it yourself.
No, I reposted you.
Yeah?
Yeah, so they click on your profile. It's called Twitter. You don't have to use it.
Disgrace, man.
I think that your shout for Wolves, by the way, obviously it looks a bit foolish, as all predictions do in football when they don't come true. But the reasoning at the time was sound. Lopetegui said that they were going down. The manager said it. Like, he left because he can't keep him up. No, it was sound. It was sound. But look, Gary O'Neill has done remarkable work.
Brian's
there.
a great shout, mate.
I think Brian.
Honestly.
Don't nick that now. If I see you talking about...
I'll say CC Rory Jennings and I'll at you as well.
Imagine we lose Brighton and Brentford, though, who have kind of been held up as
get Brentford out.
2 model Premier League clubs.
And Forest, well, they stink in this league.
I like Forest, man. I like Forest. Forest, but I like
Forest.
Brighton have, out of all, they've been up 5-6 years. 3 of the 4 of them, they've had wobbles, real wobbles, where they were close to getting relegated with Chris Hughton, with Graham Potter. They did.
All due respect, and this may be exposing me a lot, but I never considered Brighton a great, like, any kind of football team before, and they're a Premier League club sustainably now. Like, that's huge.
No, but they're not anymore.
That's huge. Brighton would never even on my radar.
But I think it's unsustainable. You know this thing that they do where they like constantly lose a player and constantly find a better player. Lose Basuma, bring in Caicedo. Lose Cucurella, bring in Estepinian.
Lose Potter, bring in Reserve. Hard.
It's unsustainable, man. It's unsustainable. And what people need to remember with regards to Brighton is they are the most insignificant teams who've ever played in the Premier League, really.
Brentford.
Brentford. Yeah, fine.
Blackpool.
They have Blackpool bigger.
Swindon.
Blackpool bigger. Stoke.
Swindon Town.
Stoke.
I just want to rattle
Stoke
Elliot.
City. Stoke City.
No, Swindon Town are.
Swindon would be a bigger club than Brighton.
Swindon were early days, isn't it?
Swindon would be a bigger club than Brighton, I think. Certainly comparable, but bigger. Remember, Brighton were literally like they didn't have any
That's
fans.
Brighton.
Racetrack, ground racetrack.
They didn't have any fans. Like, but Bobby Zamora days. You know when they fill this stadium now? I think somebody should go around that stadium with a clipboard and go, "Who did you used to support? Because you didn't come here when this was the Withdean. You weren't here. Who did you used to support? Because it's
They're getting the train from Farringdon.
mate. I think they all used to support Arsenal, and they can't get into Arsenal now, so they go Brighton because Brighton are a Premier League team. It's mental. Anyway, I think they're going down, partly because I wouldn't be adverse to that happening, and partly because I think it's unsustainable what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they could go. Brentford
plateau a little bit. They lose Ivan Toney. Again,
Thomas
a bit like
Frank's
Brighton.
pretty settled, isn't it? You know where Deserve he's had these peaks, troughs and peaks. Frank's usually very level-headed. It's just who they lose. Do they lose? You know, if you lose Tony and a Wissa or whatever.
Wissa's a great player as well.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Bournemouth could always going to be kicking about. They're
thing is,
never
though,
a big enough club.
Iraola's good, man. Although they could lose him, couldn't they?
I've heard he's the right tit, though.
Is he?
Yeah, I've heard. That went over your head, didn't it?
Yeah.
That went way over your head, didn't it?
Iraola.
We'll carry on.
And don't Area. Let me think. Let me work this out. Hang on.
Is it Spanish for tit?
What is on your nipple? An areola?
Oh, I've never heard of that. Is it?
Jesus Christ. Lad.
Areola? Never heard of that.
Killed my
It's kind of
joke
flower, isn't it? It's a flower.
Areola is like
I think you got that wrong,
your
man.
nipple.
I don't know.
You got that wrong.
Adam
around your
obviously
If you
paid
get
more
asked a
attention
question
in
on who wants to be
biology.
a millionaire like that,
Don't phone
don't go with nipple.
Adam's obviously paid more attention in
Oh,
biology.
you'll lose the million.
No, it's not the nipple. It's the bit around the nipple.
How do you
Sorry,
know that?
Super Six.
Sorry, lads. Jesus. Let's talk about the game against Pitchside. Massive.
Right, talking about relegation battles, you want to talk about
God.
a game coming up at Millwall.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it?
right now.
Do you think we can win?
Yeah.
I think we're up against it as the club. Do you know who needs to have the game of his life? Boovy.
Yeah, I'm against Tom Garrett, I think.
Are you playing central midfield?
I'm doing the Hackney
You know,
half
last time
before,
we did
so I've got
this-
no leg muscle
Before the
left.
game?
The day before.
No, you have to cancel
sorry.
that, bro.
No, that's all right.
No, but
That's
the
training.
Pitchside lads are doing it as well. So what can I do?
But do you know what? If you were playing central midfield against Tom Garrett, he's going to run rings around you, isn't he?
He made him do his ACL last time.
Or do you, I know he's a very good player, isn't he? Or do you think you can? Do you have something up your sleeve?
Well, I nutmegged him in the game in Dublin.
No, but that doesn't. You don't achieve anything.
You know what I like about
did.
Boovy, though? He
I'm
goes
not
around giving it loads to him, you know?
Yeah, he
like
hates
verbals.
it.
He gives him a lot of verbals.
What, on the pitch?
Yeah, that's why he
What,
done
are
his
you in
ACL.
are you in his ear and that?
Yeah, he was the whole time.
What,
he was
did
giving
Tom
it loads.
do his ACL purposefully?
No, but he was giving it loads to Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, this, that, and the other, and that. That's why when
The problem is he is a lovely footballer, Tom. Like
Good footballer, isn't he?
that's why I believe that our other central midfielders, and you'll find out who they are soon, needs
You
to
know
have.
what happens in these things? You know the guy that thinks he's the good footballer. Have you
too
seen that
hard.
video of him shooting every shot over the bar and that? So once the cameras are on,
Yeah, it's dangerous.
pitch is
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
There's about 3 fans in the stands.
So are you going to play central midfield?
No, I meant centre back. He's playing up front.
No, he'll play central midfield, I think, won't he? Is he?
No, he's a
forward?
striker.
Is he a striker?
He's a striker. Yeah.
I thought he was a lovely midfielder when we
You
played.
see the
him.
midfield we've got up our sleeves. Tom Garrett
Yeah.
don't want it.
I'm going to be flitting around somewhere a fullback, hoping for the best,
You'll do great.
expecting the worst.
I expect big things of you,
my,
mate.
my strategy in life. Don't do that. Expect.
I believe good things.
Set your bar very low with me.
Yeah.
And you will still probably be disappointed.
I think we'll be surprisingly impressed by Rory because he does this. He obviously he's not
Keeps it
very
tight.
fit anymore.
Yeah.
None of us here are.
Well, speak for yourself.
But I mean, he's a grown man with kids and that. He's got stuff to do. You know what I mean? He ain't got
Still
time
doing
to be
Pilates
fanning
and all
about
that,
doing
isn't he?
Hackney halves and that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.